Good evening and welcome to another CSEC Biology Live with Mr. Wilson. This evening we have a pretty interesting lineup, and I encourage you to invite your friends and to come along. Ensure that you're armed with pen, pencil, paper so that this session will be meaningful for you. I'm just getting off the road and I am a little out of it, but I'm sure as soon as you're here with me, things will change. Now, we would have sent the lineup for the show earlier. We're going to be looking at a number of things. We're going to be looking at circulation. To be specific, we're going to be looking at the cardiac cycle. We are going to be looking at blood pressure. We are going to be looking at immunity, and we're going to be looking at clot formation, and of course, the role of a phagocyte, and of course, the lymphocyte. We want to also just give you a little bit of the Punnett Square and of course the genetic diagram so that you will be a little more comfortable than you are now. I know that many persons would have watched our videos on the Punnett Square. We have actually posted a 6-link inheritance. We have actually posted inheritance of sex or determining sex, and we have also looked at the test cross. So wherever you are in the Caribbean joining me, I am really grateful. I have been seeing hi Ro, how you doing? Good evening. I have been seeing a number of persons, and I continue to see a number of my friends from Trinidad, a number of my friends from Guyana. Now, this evening, there's a question that I would love for everyone to answer, and that question is, what is your cover page moment of the week? And the cover page moment of the week and the cover page moment of the week is going to be that, hello, Ashram, I hope that's the name. The cover page moment of a week is going to be that epic moment, that grand thing about the week, that thing that popped for you. Now, whatever it is, it could have been on social media, it could have been in class, it could have been on your online classes, it could have been on Mr. Wilson Live, or it could have been one of Mr. Wilson's video, or it could have been something from wherever you are, whichever country, whichever district, whichever island you are from. Of course, it could have been that cover page. But so we're going to be looking at what's the cover page moment. I have my cover page moment, and I'll be sharing that with you. And I'm waiting on your friends to join me so that when we start this evening, everybody will be pretty much on the same track. I said in my last class that Jamaica seems to be a place with a lot of call centers and a lot of bikes. I might even get myself a bike one day, but it seems to be the preferred method of transportation. They just pass here. I mean, they're always passing by, and the show, of course, will be disturbed by them every now and then because I'm pretty close to the road, and the bikes, like I say, they are moving about really busy. I don't know if I should get one because it seems that it's a style now in Jamaica. Everyone has a bike, or of course we turn to the call center. Those are popular things in Jamaica. They are definitely not my cover page moment, but definitely they are things for us to talk about. So I'm waiting on the others to join us this evening. I really don't want to start talking anything about genetics or showing the genetics diagram or even getting into circulation without having a quorum. So I'm going to be asking persons to just log on. For those persons who are not yet subscribers, I'm going to ask you to subscribe so that you can join us and be a part of the live show. Ashram, are you Jamaican? Ashram, are you Jamaican? Brianna Rowe, good evening. All right, we went up to 5 just now, and we're down. The internet is a little crappy, but we're going to be here for some time this evening because, of course, we want to show you that bit you have asked about. We are waiting on persons to join. As soon as you join, we're going to get going. But of course, we know that we have some fans who are always here. And of course, we really want to wait on them because we know from time to time they are having a little issue with the internet and connectivity. It wouldn't be wise to leave them behind because they are always here trying to ensure that they are on top of things. We are doing very well as a channel, might I say, and I need to continue to say thanks to you, thanks to all the fans, thanks to all the subscribers, thanks to all those persons who are watching our shows, thanks to all those persons who are leaving a comment, thanks to all those persons who continue to share the channel. We are growing, 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 growing. If you look at my face, I'm like really, really happy. I'm really happy to be serving you. I am really happy to be reaching those persons who from time to time I tell you they send a message or two to say thank you, sir. That is like really, really wonderful and touching. It causes me to go out and out and beyond. All right, so it is a wonderful Sunday evening. I am not too sure what it is like wherever you are. However, we have to get on with the show. So I'm going to be starting with those persons who are logged in now. If you can just tell me, what is your cover page moment of the week? What's your cover page moment of the week? Could you just type more good evening, Angel? All right, it's evening. Could you type for me, what's your cover page moment of the week? The cover page moment of the week speak to that epic part of the week, that thing that popped for you. If it was on social media, it is fine. If it is something that you learned, it is fine. If it's something about your friend, it is fine. But I just want you to type in the chat for me this evening, what is that cover page moment of the week for you? I'll share with you what is my cover page moment of the week. My cover page moment of the week came from comments I got on some videos that are online. I was really moved by the comments because from time to time you're doing a lot of stuff. I mean, I have over 70 odd videos online, and I continue to do this because I'm trying to reach as many students or have as many students connected as possible to the content, because we know what the situation is with our students and school and connectivity. So I wanted to get the content somewhere where everybody can access the content. And I was really moved when a student wrote me over the weekend and said, sir, I am, it's not one student, a couple of students, right? But I remember my first mail came from, or the first comment came from a Guyanese, and she wrote me to say, thank you, sir. You're really helping. And then, as if that was not enough, somebody else wrote me and said, sir, I am really grateful for your videos. I'm really grateful for what you're doing. I really appreciate what you're doing. And I was like really, 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 really moved. I am so grateful for that feedback, just to know that I am at least reaching one person more than the norm. Now, I spoke about Guyana, I spoke about Jamaica. Persons are saying that, listen to me, sir, you are helping. And I am very happy for that. And I'm going to be helping as much as I can for as long as I can. And of course, I'm going to be asking you as well, make sure you watch those videos to the end. Make sure that you have your friends subscribe. Make sure you share the content with others, because of course we want to have one big community, and of course persons who are doing better at science in the Caribbean. I'd love to turn up to the hospital one day and the doctor that I am seeing can say, you are Mr. Wilson. You know, I was a part of your show some years ago. Yes, I have one student, I think. I have one student who is a doctor now. I have another student that is in China now. I have another student somewhere in the Caribbean that is studying medicine. And the list of students that I have that are way more successful than I am, it keeps me going. Don't say that I don't have any ambition. But when you teach as a teacher, you want to ensure that your students are way, way better than you are. So we're looking at Barnett. Good evening. You give me clarity due to the lack of information I am getting in evening school as a new timer. Barnett, we're here for that. And if you need clarity, this evening show is the perfect show for you. You will agree with me that we are going up and down because we are trying to serve everybody. So we have like 3 shows. We have a Sunday show that is really geared to those advanced persons, those persons who are in grade 11 thereabout, and we look at a separate topic. We have a Friday show that is geared to those newcomers, those persons in grade 10, and we're looking at a separate topic. And then we have a show on Wednesday, which is a show that we're going to discontinue as soon as we complete ecology, because it's a whole lot of work to do the animation, to do the uploads, and to do the live show, and to do the research, because we're always coming with the best of information, and we ensure that what we're giving you is in line with the syllabus. So we are not going to come and just tell you to go and draw the carbon cycle, because the syllabus did not say that. The syllabus asks us to use the carbon cycle as an example to something else. So we are going to give you the full thing, that you understand what is expected of me when I see the carbon cycle, or when this question comes up. What is it that I should do? So that type of thing, we make sure, and there's a whole lot of reading behind the scenes. Of course, I have one person who helped me, who remain anonymous. The person is usually in the room, but that person helped me, and I'm really, really grateful. I can't say the person name because the person don't want to be named, but I have a teacher who is always in the room, and of course, she provides a whole lot of assistance, and of course, do some groundwork sometime. I'm here, and she's trying to get things all going, and I really appreciate that. So, Barnett, I am really grateful for that comment. Otisha Gray, over the weekend, Otisha, I asked somebody to name 2 persons on the show, because that's one of the activities you would have seen me sent in the ads for the live. And I said, name 2 persons from the show. And your name just pop up. Bam! Otisha Gray. And I think this other young lady from Spanish Town, her name popped out as well. So it seems as if you are the 2 dominant force on the show. So today, in this learning community, everybody will be asked to name 2 persons from the show. And I'm not asking you to just look up there. Probably it's a good time now for these persons who are here to tell me those 2 persons from the show, when nobody is here online as yet. But we want to ensure that this is really a learning community, and it's not a thing between Mr. Wilson and isolated students in the group. We want to ensure that Barnett knows Gray, and Gray know more, and more know Martilia. All right. Ashram, hello. I tried to reach you earlier. Are you Jamaican? We need to know that when you join. It doesn't really matter if you are Jamaican or from another Caribbean island. We just want to ensure that we're understanding, we have a good knowledge. We have a good knowledge of our reach. So that's the reason we're asking persons what Caribbean island you're from, because we're trying to measure our reach. Where are we reaching? How far are we reaching? Who are the persons who are benefiting? And that's the sole reason for us asking you, are you Jamaican? Are you from another island? If you're from another island, we'll big you up, sort of love when you are here. Otisha will tell you. All right. So I am waiting on the others. I am going to be starting this evening with a big topic. It's a video that I have out there. I'll be using a whiteboard. I brought a whiteboard in. I'm yet to get an easel. If one of you want to donate an easel, that would be nice, because we just take it back to the classroom in some of the classes where the teacher writes on the board and that type of thing. And for most students, it is sort of better. So I am going to be taking you through some genetic diagrams, because for some unknown reason, we are afraid of these diagrams, and they're not difficult. They're not difficult. All right. The cross, I am going to be working on the cross. And the pedigree chart, Punnett Square, I think the Punnett Square is also awesome. So tell me if you're ready. Are you ready for us to go? Just say yes, and let me just jump to the board and do one and come back and give you one to do and that type of thing. And you solve and tell me the F1 generation. So are we ready? Just tell me in the chat. Are you ready? Yes. Should I go? Should I start the show now? Yes, sir. Otisha Gray is saying that it's time to go. Otisha, Barnett is saying it's time to go. All right. Who else is ready? Tell me who else is ready. All right. Moore is ready. Who else is ready? There are 3 persons. Anybody else? Anybody else? All right, there are some persons who are watching the show who are not locked and loaded. And I think that we represent those persons who are watching from distant land and they are not locked and loaded, but we have to ensure that we go along. So we did a lot of talking now, almost about 15 minutes worth of talk. So now we're going to go ahead. So what I want you to do before I go to the board, though, Otisha, I want you to tell me, what is that cover page moment for you for the week? The cover page moment is that epic moment, that big thing, that thing where you could have talked about, the thing would stand out. Probably it would have been on the television, in the news, social media, TikTok, YouTube, I don't know. It might be on this channel, I don't know. Barnett, I want the same thing. More, I want the same thing. So just type that and give me some feedback, and I jump to the board. I'm going to be looking at probably the simplest cross, so that you can at least get an example going. And then I'm going to probably 2 cross I'm going to be doing, and then I jump right into circulation again. So what is that moment of the week for you? So I am moving backward. I do hope that you'll be able to see the board properly. Can you see that? Can you see the board well, or I need to get another marker? All right, just tell me, can you see the board? Yes, no? I shouldn't see the board, the writing. All right, so I'm going to be using some cross just to bring out some definitions, right? And while I'm bringing out these definitions, I am not really going in line with the syllabus now. I'm really started showing you how to do the crosses. I'm going to bring in out the inheritance of dominance. I'm going to be bringing out the heterozygous trait. I'm going to be bringing out the homozygous and the homozygous dominant and that type of thing, and the allele and the chromosome, that type of thing. So I'm going to be doing the cross rather than doing the definitions. And then I'm going to be asking you to give me to do some for me. Sir, I am always watching your videos and I have a better understanding. Okay, that's Otisha's epic moment. Barnett, getting good news that I don't need surgery on my back, only the knees. I wish I could celebrate for you. I would like, whoa, 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 whoa. That type of thing. I am very, very happy that you have received good news. Otisha Gray, I am very happy that I am able. I don't know if I turn off a light if this will work, but we're going to be doing some genetic cross now. Take out your books and take out your pencil. You might have to erase and that type of thing. So the first thing, I'm going to be showing you some example of stuff, because we're not going to try to remember any definition by itself. We're going to put picture to definition. So I'm going to be looking at inheritance of probably height, tall, and that type of thing, and we are going to be defining them as we want to define them. We're not going to go with the syllabus. That's not what we're doing now. We want to learn something sort of a little different. So we're looking at, I'm going to define my alleles. So I'm going to say let T be the dominant allele. Can you see that? Yes, no? Can you turn off a light for me and see if it would be better? No, turn it on back. All right, Angel, I am glad that you're taking your time to teach students who you don't really know. Highly appreciated, sir. My pleasure. All right, good. Thank you too. All right, so I am going to tell you what I'm writing, and I want you to write it, right? Or you could just type it in the chat, and then I could say yes or no, because the lighting is sort of poor. My camera is not so poor. It's not so good. I'm using the webcam. I'll tell you, I don't have a budget, but teaching still have to go on. You follow me? So I don't have a budget. I am using the webcam from the laptop. So I don't know that I can do anything better. I wish I could, but I can't. But class still going to go on, and you're still going to learn. So what I've written here is let T be the dominant allele for tall. So you want to write that? So let T be the dominant allele for tall. So I have defined my allele. Let capital T, and it's a capital T, be the dominant allele for tall. All right, I don't know if that will be a little better. Oh, yeah, I can see it, so probably you can see it. So let T be the dominant allele for tall. I hope you can see it. And then we are going to say the same thing. Let common T, that is common T, be the recessive, RECESS, be the recessive allele, for tall. So if it is a recessive allele for tall, then it's going to be short, right? So I always, for reason wanting to remember in the exam, I don't want to get confused with this tall thing. But common T is actually recessive allele for tall, but I usually put in bracket short. All right, so one might say we are doing inheritance of dominance now. One might want to say that we are doing inheritance of dominance. So we said that capital T is the dominant allele. We are saying that common T is the recessive allele. So we are talking about some trait now. All right, so we could probably look at cleft chin. If you look at my chin right here, cleft chin, it has a little sink in here. All right, and they say that it is a dominant allele. I have never done any reading on it, so don't take it for gospel. I was told. But we're looking at tall now. All right, so let me tell you what the rule says about dominant allele. Now, this capital T here is dominant, right? So there are two other fancy words that we need to know. And I would have done them before, but I'm going to write them on the board again. So there are two fancy words that we are going to be using as I go along. We are going to be using genotype. I hope you can see that. Genotype. We need to know those. Genotype. And we are going to be using phenotype. All right. Now listen, let us go. Are you following? Common is always the resistance or recessive. Say recessive. We always use the common for recessive. Recessive. And I soon tell you what recessive means. All right. We always use the common letter for recessive. All right. So if you want me to write them big out here, so for those persons who are not seeing, that one is going to be the dominant. That is capital T, dominant. And so this one is the dominant, and this here, we always use the common as the recessive. All right. So we're looking at capital T, common T for tall. This one is the dominant. That is going to be the dominant, and this is going to be the recessive. All right. Cool. But these two words, sir, I'm seeing the board, sir. All right. Beautiful. Because we're pretty close now. All right. So good. So phenotype refers to the characteristic that you can see or the trait that you can see. If you're looking at skin color, you can see that I am of dark complexion, right? So it's a trait that you can see. So you can physically see it with your eyes, right? So you could probably see the trait. I have a trait for 5 fingers and not 6. All right. So that is something that you can see. All right. Understand? Just respond for me so I know you are there. All right. Okay. I am okay. Got it. Okay, cool. All right. I can see the board. Good. So this is what you can see. Phenotype. But if you were looking at my skin color, you can see my skin color, but you don't know the gene, you don't know the genotype, the genetic makeup, I like to say. All right. So we usually use some little letters when we are doing our genetic cross to represent these, to represent the phenotype. So the phenotype is represented in the genotype as letters. All right. So even if we're talking now about tall, so with tall, the phenotype is either going to be tall or short. Tall or short. That is phenotype, what you can see. Now, when we talk about the genotype for tall now, we are talking about these letters. All right. Are you with me? Beautiful. So I'm going to be erasing. No, I don't need to erase anything. I just need to separate my board. All right. So that part, we define the allele. So we know what is tall and what is short. And then we spoke about phenotype and genotype here. They are in the video, but somebody told me last week, so I'd rather to do it on the live. I understand what is happening on the live. All right. Yeah. So forgive me those persons who are watching in distant land. I have a very low budget, but learning must still take place. So I am using the webcam on my laptop and a little board here to ensure that the kids learn. All right. So here we go now. So phenotype refers to the tall or short individual. That is what you can see. All right. Once we talk about phenotype, we're talking about a characteristic, a trait that you can see. And when we talk about genotype, to make it very simple, it is just those letters that we are going to be using in the genetic cross. In this case, we are defining two letters as capital T and common T. We are saying that capital T is the dominant allele, right? It is dominant for the trait, and that is what I'm going to explain now. And we are saying that common T is recessive for the trait. It's very important that you understand the terms dominant, recessive, genotype, and phenotype. Let us go. I'm going to give you a rule now. What the rule says about dominance is that once the dominant allele, remember the dominant allele, the allele could be almost any letter unless you're referring to male and female and like hemophilia. Few things have the letters already defined that you can't change. So you can't change like the chromosome for female. It's going to be XX and the chromosome for male is going to be XY. But don't go there yet. Just take it a step at a time. Let us just deal with this trait that is tall and short. So now we define T to be dominant allele for tall. What the rule says about dominant allele, and probably you want to write it down because I'm sort of out of board space. It says once the dominant allele is expressed, once the dominant allele is expressed, the phenotype will be that of the dominant allele. So once the dominant allele is expressed, once the dominant allele is expressed, the phenotype will be that of the dominant allele. All right. So just to check to make sure that you're understanding, I'm going to be asking you from my board here, what is the dominant allele? I have two allele there, capital T and common T. Just type in the chat for me, what is the dominant allele? Because we're going now into the big game, you know. What is the dominant allele? Type it in your chat there for me. We have big T, little t. Which is the dominant, which is the recessive? All right. All right. Beta, all right. All right. Very good. So the dominant T. All right. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now we are going to get to another step. But before we go to that step, let us recap what we have here because I'm going to erase it so that I can get some board space. So we started out by defining let capital T be the dominant allele for tall. And then we said let common T be the recessive allele for tall. And if it is recessive for tall, it means that it is short because an allele is just alternate form of genes. And when we say alternate forms of genes, can I just use something that is way out that might just help you to bring it home? If I were to suppose to say black, what would you say as alternate? Write it in the chat there for me. If I were supposed to say black, what would you say as alternate? Write it in the chat there for me. I say black, what do you say? Okay, I say fat, what do you say as alternate? Okay, so if I say black, you say white. Black, you say white. Beautiful. That's alternate. Usually it goes like that. Beautiful. And if I say fat, you say slim. Right. Not funny word to use on the internet, but I think you understand. That's where I'm going. So if you say tall, it's going to be short. It's alternate. All right. So cool. We have that down. So I'm going to be erasing this part up here. Remember that we did define it. It is sort of in my head. So I'll try my best to see if I can remind you as we go along. Can I get some alcohol, please? Alcohol. All right. Or that. You can give me that. White bottle there? Yes. All right, cool. All right, so now we're going to be going again. And now you have to follow me carefully. I'm going to be giving you new definitions now. New definitions, and I'm going to be using examples. So here we go. So if we have two of the same letters, we say that it is homozygous. Write that down for me. Homozygous. If we have two of the same letters, we say that it is homozygous. So there, and we're going to attach something else to that, So we say that this is homozygous. But this is homozygous. So too, let me get another marker. So too, this is also homozygous. All right? So they are both homozygous. So why do I need to tell you all that? All right, you see, I tell you that I am not alone. I get some assistance from time to time. I just put it in there. All right, thank you. All right, good. So we're going to have a great class this evening. All right, beautiful. So we went on with the lesson and we are looking at a new definition. So the definition that we're looking at is what we call homozygous, 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 because they are the same letter, same allele we're looking at. All right. So this up here, but guess what? We could continue by saying that this is homozygous dominant. Remember, we started out talking about dominant and recessive. So we say that this is homozygous dominant. So this one at the top here is homozygous dominant. So write that in your book for me. That at the top there is homozygous dominant. You need to understand that. And then the one at the bottom, if the top is homozygous dominant, what is the one at the bottom? Somebody tell me in the chat there. The one at the bottom, what it is? What is this one? All right, the two common T, the two capital T, that's homozygous dominant. So what would you call the two common T's? Tell me that. What's the two common T's? Very good. Homozygous recessive. Beautiful. Beautiful. Wonderful. So here we have homozygous recessive. Now we are going on to another one. And when you get the basics here, when I dive into the deep thing, if you want us to do genetics this evening, my pleasure. My pleasure if you want us to just say, hey, sir, just hold the rest of the circulation until next week and just go some genetics this evening and let us mash up genetics. I will do that for you. You know that that's Mr. Wilson. All right, I am going to up in on to another one. So here we go to another one. I want to use a different color marker, but these markers are not so friendly this evening. But I'm trying my best to use a different marker. So here we have another one. This marker is not friendly. This marker is an enemy of the state. All right, so I'm going to be using this one. All right, there we go. And then we have that. So we have a common T and a capital T. Common T and a capital T. All right, sir. Let's keep on this, please. All right, beautiful. Not a problem. Not a problem. All right, so there are many different types, so you'll have to, I'll have to go a little slow and show you some other stuff. So, but let's get this out of the way. We're working on the definitions now. All right. Butter pills, I don't understand that sign. You want to help me with the sign? I am like slow when it comes to these stuff, and that's why I continue to teach so I can continue to learn. All right. So we're looking at this now. So we spoke about first at the top. This is homozygous dominant. Beautiful. Here, this is homozygous recessive. You have to always remember these if you are doing genetics any at all, And then down here, this new one is heterozygous. Heterozygous. Hetero. So this is heterozygous. I want you to keep it on this too, sir. Oh, that's what it means. We'll soon talk about that at the end of the show. So let us go again. Let us go again with all the things that we have said so far. because you have to get it little by little. If you don't get the right foundation, the house will go falling down. So I have to give you the right foundation, you know. Just follow me here. So up here, it's homozygous dominant, homozygous recessive, and heterozygous or heterozygous. Heterozygous, it's spelled heterozygous, but it is heterozygous. So this is heterozygous, homozygous recessive, homozygous dominant. Understand that? Beautiful. Then we spoke about the rules that govern inheritance of dominance, if we're looking at something being dominant. And we said that once the dominant allele is expressed, let me circle places here where the dominant allele is expressed. I have some markers that are a little bad mind this evening. So here there's a dominant allele expressed. There's a dominant allele in the heterozygous, you know. Heterozygous. I could talk about almost something, but I don't want to get in trouble. And I could talk about hetero something, but I don't want to get in trouble. But so just leave that for another class. So we have one dominant allele here, and then we have one dominant allele there, two dominant allele. So in the homozygous dominant, we have two dominant allele, but in the heterozygous, we have one dominant allele. So in the homozygous dominant, we have two dominant alleles, and in the heterozygous, we have one dominant allele. Let's continue. Where am I going with all this fancy dancy? Now, there are some time when you are given the genotype and you have to write the phenotype. So these here are the genotype. Genotype. So the phenotype is heterozygous, homozygous recessive, homozygous dominant. While these are your genotype. Remember, the genotype is the letters that we're using. It's the easiest way to remember. The genotype is the letters that we're using. So now, remember that rule I gave you a while ago? We'll have to use that rule now. So here it is, we have two parents. It doesn't matter if you name the parents male or female. You just need to say two parents. And one of the parents is heterozygous for the trait. What is heterozygous? Why did they write that on the exam paper? I know heterozygous is a big letter and a little letter. And the first thing we have to do is to define the allele. And when we started out, we defined the allele. So one parent we know, let's draw a line down here. One parent we know is heterozygous. One parent is heterozygous. And then the other parent is going to be homozygous recessive for the trait. If the person is homozygous recessive for the trait, what is the phenotype, the real phenotype of that person? Is the person tall or short? So this person over here says homozygous recessive for the trait. Is that person tall or short? Write it down in the chat there for me. Is the person tall or short? Tall or short? For those persons who are just joining, the person is short. Butterpill. Beautiful. Rap, 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 rap. Rap, 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 rap. I tell you, I feel like dancing. I feel like dancing. All right, cool. So now I'm going to be doing those fancy cross that you saw in my videos. You are getting an opportunity to see me do it online. So here we go. What I like to do is to draw a line down first. Draw a straight line down. All right, beautiful. I hope you are doing the same thing. Draw that straight line down. And I'm going to be carrying down this letter at the top of the line to the bottom, that allele. There we go. From the top, carry it down. We're safe there. So we are crossing this side with this side. All right? But we don't want to duplicate the crossing. So I go with this first letter first. I'm going to go with this first one now. So here we go. Boom. And I'm going to carry down the T's. Follow the line down. Now, You guys are bright guys. I am not going to go so fast. First thing I want to know here, what is the phenotype of that individual? Phenotype here, will the person be tall or short? Tall or short? Well, this is the F1 generation, first filial generation. This is what we call the F1 generation. That's a new fancy word I'm going to be giving you. All right. So this person is going to be tall. Right. Because remember we said that once the dominant allele is expressed, then the phenotype is going to be that of the dominant allele. And the phenotype here is tall because we did define the allele that capital T means tall. So let us continue. I'm going to be erasing this side because I'm going to be needing to write some other things up here that you're going to need to write for your exams. I don't want you to get the wrong thing. What I'm doing up there, let me just do the right thing. Guys, you are watching me on the live now, and you realize that I'm making a mistake? Oh my God. I'm sorry, guys. I made a mistake. In the exam, you should not do that. That is wrong. I'm happy you saw it. And that is the tendency of all students. When they get to the exam, what they start doing is to cross from the parent genotype. They start to cross from the parent genotype. You should not do that. You should first break away to the gametes. Let me just put a little arrow here. Break away to the gametes. Break away to the gametes. That's the first thing you're supposed to do. Gametes. So you have first, you're going to have the parent genotype. Above the parent genotype, you are going to have the parent phenotype. So the phenotype here would have been tall at the top here. And then over here, it would have been short. Make sure you are practicing the right thing. Do not take any shortcut. What I was doing a while ago is shortcut. It is wrong. Do the right thing. Break away from the parent genotype to your gametes, and then you are going to have random fertilization here or segregation. So it's going to be random fertilization. So here you're going to have random fertilization. Random fertilization is where you have these cross-up lines. Here we go now. Are you following? Say yes or no for me. Yes or no, are you following? Good. Because when we do that teaching course, they say that sometimes less is more. So I don't want to give you everything and you're not learning. I want you to go slow. So we are ready to go with the cross again. Beautiful. Here we go. So now we want to find the first filial generation. It is called the F1 generation. Now F with a subscript 1. First filial generation. That is the first set of offspring that might, right? It doesn't mean that she's going to have 4 children. Oh, no. No, that's not what it means. So let's do the cross. You think I should use another marker? I think I should. So I'm going to be using my blue marker. So I come down with the first allele. Now I start the segregation. I'm going to put it there. And then I'm going to be coming across from over here with this allele. And then that is going to give me, in your exam, you can use one color pen or you should use one color pen. I'm doing this for ease. Now, if you observe, I have 2 arrows ending here. So this is complete. We don't need anything else here. So we could just probably circle it. All right. So that's a genotype for the F1 generation, right? This is a genotype. Then we are going to continue here and always draw a straight line down. Start with your straight line. So draw a straight line. If it can't hold, just carry it down somewhere where you can see it. All right. So the first thing we're going to be doing that right there. I'm going to be carrying them down where I can see it because I know for most cases, when you go to the exam, you can't get them to line up in a straight line. And when you can't get them to line up in a straight line, you just become all frustrated and say, oh, I'm not doing this question, even though this question is so easy. All right? So here we go. So we carry down this one. Good. So we now have to, we have one here, one here, one here. There's nothing with this one. So now we have to carry this one across. Beautiful. Carry it across like that. And then what do we have? See that? Are you following? All right. So let me just write this a little better here. We're following there. All right. So remember we started out by carrying down two straight lines on this side. Over here, we're going to do the same thing. Over there, we're going to be doing the same thing. Now, look at what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to go over to the far side. Or do you want me to come to the near side? But what we don't want to do, we don't want a repeat of this here. We want them to go on different things. So I'm going to come down straight with this one. Straight. Right? Now, this is already connected to this T. So I don't want to connect it to this T because it's already connected to it. Bop, bop, connected to that. So I want to connect it to this one instead. So I'm going to be going, aha. I should have had my common T there. Now I end up with a capital T. And look, this is finished. This is finished. This is finished. This is finished. But voila, these two, we still need to get that out of the way. So now we're going to be drawing another straight line down. Straight line down. And then we just connect these two nicely. And we end up with beautiful. So what I have on the board is the F1 genotype. What I have on the board is the F1 genotype, the first filial generation genotype. So this is the genes, the letter stuff that we're using to represent that, the thing that they do up by Carrigen. Nice place. I'll tell you more about Carrigen. Now, you have to say, so remember, let's look at the parts again coming down. If you can't see it, just write it in your book and you'll see it well in your book. The first thing we're going to have is the parent phenotype. The phenotype is what we can see. One of the parents is tall, one of the parents is short. The second thing we are going to have is a parent genotype. Heterozygous for tall, capital T, common T. Homozygous recessive for tall, two common T's. Homozygous recessive for tall, two common T's. And then now, this is the parent genotype. We should not start the cross at the parent genotype. We are supposed to break away to the gametes. So now we broke away, gamete here, gamete here, gamete here, gamete here. We end up with the gametes there. And when we break away with the gametes, what you realize is that the gamete, the allele, they are far apart. All right? They are further apart than they were here. They are much further apart here, making it nice and easy for you to do that genetic cross. Don't you think? All right, good. So now we come down here, we have random fertilization, or some will say segregation. What does that mean? It means that this could have signed on to this instead of this. This could have signed on to this instead of this. So these could have signed off in any match between these. They could have signed on anyway. All right. So this could have been with that, or this could have been with that type of thing. All right. So that is what makes it random. All right. Beautiful. Having completed that cross, what we're going to be getting with these letter stuff, we're going to be getting the F1 generation phenotype. What is the F1 generation? The first set of offspring. The first set of offspring. So butterpill, the F1 generation is the possible kids that you are going to have. All right. So doing one, you can have any of these four. Now, what I want you to tell me in the chat here, me feel so nice. New knowledge. Haha. Good. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be numbering these. I'm going to be numbering them. And what I want you to do in the chat is to tell me the phenotype of each. So this is going to be 1, that's going to be 2, that's going to be 3, and that's going to be 4. So now I want you to tell me what is the phenotype of all. 1, 2, 3, 4. Write in the chat. So you are going to write 1 dash, and then you write the phenotype, 2 dash, and then you write the phenotype, 3 dash, and so on and so forth. Go right ahead. Now, this information is very important for students who are doing biology or HSB. I am not too certain for integrated science. I have not looked at the syllabus. I'm very honest to you. I'm being very honest. But if you are doing integrated science, you could just hop on over to your syllabus, look at the back of the syllabus, and see if it is a part of the things you should know. But I'm sure both biology and HSB should know this bit of information. So 1 is tall, 2 is short, 3 is short, 4 is tall. Kevin is saying 1 is tall, 2 is... Some more. What's with 4? You haven't said anything about 4. So Kevin, Otisha, let me go again. Kevin is saying 1 is tall, 2 is short, 3 is short, 4 is tall. Otisha is saying 1 is tall, 2 is short, 3 is short, 4 is tall. Moore is saying 1 and 4. Okay, 1 and 4 is tall, and 2 and 3 is short. Okay, so there we have identified genotype and phenotype. However, your syllabus wants you to be able to write the phenotypic ratio, or they might ask you for genotypic ratio. So we're going to be looking at the ratio. Now, let me just tell you something. I have had one of the best genetics teacher in the world, one of the best genetics teacher. Might I say her name is Dr. Medley from the College of Agriculture. She did work with Dr. T.P. Lecky on his assignment. I have had her as my genetics teacher. And I hope that I am making a good representation of her, because I tell you, she's a really, really wonderful lecturer. Dr. Medley is her name, from the College of Agriculture and Science over there in Portland, Jamaica. Wonderful person. All right. So in her exam, what I did, all right, so 4, right, short, right, very good. What I did, I just wrote the ratio like 1 to 2, and I didn't get full marks. And I'm like, why you didn't give me full marks? I mean, I have the right thing here. She said 1 and 2 of what? So when you're writing your ratio, you need to say what you're talking about. So if you're having, we could probably group them. Because if these 2 are short and these 2 are tall, then we could say the ratio of tall to short is in its smallest term. So you can't write 2 to 2. 2 into itself goes 1 time. So we are going to end up with a 1-to-1 ratio. All right. And you need to define that tall one, short one, or probably you could do it like this, but it would be nice if you say tall one and probably short one. Right? So that everybody understands clearly, that you understand clearly. All right, beautiful. So here you have done your first bit of genetics work and you are loving it. So if you are loving it, then it is time, Otisha, sir, me can see what you write. All right, beautiful. All right. So if you are loving it, then I'm going to be giving yours, and I'm going to treat you like you are. Where is Apod? You remember we had a great, can't see. You can't, what is it that you can't see? You can't see the ratio. Oh, can't see. Oh, I see. I'm very sorry. I was talking about the ratio here, and I'm saying that being that we have 2 short here and 2 tall here, the syllabus is asking for phenotypic ratio, and your phenotypic ratio is going to be 1:1 because it must be expressed in its smallest form. So we have tall 1, then the colon, short 1. So that is going to be our phenotypic ratio for this particular cross, 1:1. Sir, the bottom. All right, so that's it. Tell me if you saw that well, as I am going to be giving you one now to do, and then I'm going to get into some specifics. All right, so I'm going to be erasing this. Now I'm going to tell you what I want to do, because when you can interpret, when you can hear the phenotype and write the genotype for it, it means that you would have understood clearly the definition. I'm sorry, I didn't take off my mic. I'm very sorry. All right. So we are getting ready to do one for ourselves. And once you would have mastered this basic and you understand the first law that I gave you for inheritance of dominance, and you understand clearly recessive, heterozygous, and homozygous, then you are on your way to being a genetics guru at this level. All right? So you could just ring up your teacher and say, hey, could you just show me a genetic question and let me see how best I can treat with it? Remember, I said in my videos that they have different rules. So you must understand which of the rule you are working with. If you don't understand which rule you are working with, then that is where you could make the mistake. So don't just run on and say, oh, I am going to cross, bam, 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 cross. Did you actually answer the question? Did you actually answer the question that was asked? So I'm going to be asking you now. I want you to cross a homozygous dominant individual with a heterozygous dominant, we don't want to say heterozygous dominant or heterozygous. I want you to cross a homozygous dominant with a heterozygous individual. All right? So before you start crossing, could you just write the allele in the chat for me? And let me see what is happening. We don't want to start crossing the wrong thing. That is going to be a whole lot of time we're going to be losing. All right? So just cross for me. Show me the allele before you start crossing. Or might I say, show me the parental genotype before you start crossing. I gave you the phenotype. So I'm asking you now to give me the genotype in your chat, and then you can start crossing. Otisha, remember it is homozygous dominant. Homozygous dominant with heterozygous. Otisha, revisit that for me, please. Homozygous dominant with heterozygous. Guys, please write it. I want everybody to write, all right? Everybody, I want you to write the genotype. All right, so more, you can start your cross. Kevin, you can start your cross. Please, guys, I want you to write it. I want to ensure that you are writing it. No. Otisha, please write it for me. Please write it for me. All right, good. We want to ensure that we are following all the steps. All right, very good. All right, very good. All right, everybody wrote it? Because I'm going to give you another instruction before you start solving in your book, you know. I'm going to ensure that we're doing the right thing. All right, so the first thing that we wrote just now, it is the parent genotype. So that's the genotype of the parent. I gave you the phenotype, and because you know the definitions, you were able to write the genotype. So the next thing you are going to do, now you are going to write it out, the gametes. How they're going to appear on the gametes. So you're going to write that out. Remember what we did. Okay, go ahead with your cross. No, I want you to write the gametes before you go ahead with your cross. That practice is very, very important, because I don't want you to lose one mark. I don't want you to lose any mark. It must be perfect, smack on. All right. So just write it here like how we're going to write it before we do the cross. So moving down to the gamete, what will it look like in that state? Nobody's writing anything. What does that mean? I'm looking in the chat. I'm looking at the chat. Remember when I said we space it out some more? You get as Otisha, please space those T's for me. They are not going to appear so close when we go down to the gamete. Space them for me. Space them. Space the homozygous and space the heterozygous. And then that will tell me that, yes, I understand I have to move them apart when I go down and then I start the cross. All right, beautiful. All right, so now more, you are going to space, give it a bigger space. Give it a bigger space between the heterozygous and the homozygous because these are two different parents. They are on two different sides. All right? Two different parents, two different sides. Avoid putting that full stop at the bottom as subscript, Bennett, because if you do that, when we get into other cross, you might have problem. All right? Avoid doing that. Don't put any full stop or anything there because there are times when we're looking like at things like the codominance and incomplete dominance where we're using things as superscript and all of that, and you might just get carried away. I didn't. My phone did. Okay, very good. All right, beautiful. All right, let us go. So you're going to do this cross in your books now, and you are going to tell me, I want two things from you. I want the phenotype of the F1 generation and the genotype of the F1 generation. Now, while you solve, I am going to be solving mine on the paper. Now that you have given that to me, I could probably write it on the board. So I was using a duster. Oh, here we go. Beautiful. All right, so we're crossing homozygous dominant with heterozygous. All right, with heterozygous, that is homozygous with heterozygous. All right. So as we work, we wait on those students to solve the problem. We are doing a genetic cross, and now we are looking at what we want to call inheritance of dominance, because we're actually using this class to teach some definitions, but we, rather than writing the definition and asking you to study these definitions, we would have given you the real life example that you can treat with them. When you're writing in the answer, please write F1 generation phenotype or F1 generation genotype, that bit, because we want to know where are you coming from. So is it the response for the F1 generation genotype? Is it the phenotype? Because we have to ensure that you know what you're doing, you know. We have to ensure that you have full mastery before you leave here. So if it's the F1 generation, which is the first filial generation, the offspring, we want to know. So I am doing mine as we talk, homozygous versus heterozygous. All right, there we have that. And then I'm going to be coming down here, and there we have this. And then I make another straight line there, and this doesn't have any. I go to the far side. It's always good to go to the east. And then we go down like that. And then we come down here. And this is not connected to that, so I connect it to that. And then everybody is connected, all lovely, nice, and dandy. And then I will have to work out. So this is my F1 generation genotype. So I'll have to also write the F1 generation phenotype, and then I'll have to write the phenotypic ratio. So the phenotypic ratio that I'll have to write. So let me just get back to what my students wrote here. Coming down, I'm going to be starting from butter pills. Sir, I did the square instead. It's called the Punnett Square. No, we're not at the Punnett Square. We are going to be doing the Punnett Square, but I am not going to be making any shortcut here. I'm teaching you, and I want you to understand. So if you don't understand that, we're going to be teaching you that you don't have to take that route about, I'm doing the Punnett Square. You must be able to do this cross in my class. Not going to be leaving here and it falls in the null curriculum. We're going to ensure that you can do it. So Angel Moore is saying F1 phenotype is tall. F1 phenotype is tall. I soon get to that. Sir, may get tall for all. All right. So I'm going to be telling you how you say that. Sir, F1 generation equal TT tall. Kevin, you need to revisit that. Whatever you wrote there, revisit that and try to see if that is what you got. All right. Sir, I know how to do it. All right. If you know how to do it, you know to do both ways, Butterpill, it's tall. Okay, so what you are going to say for the F1 generation, all the offspring, the phenotype for all the offspring is tall. For the F1 generation, the phenotype for all the offspring is tall. All right. So that is the phenotype for the F1. Suppose I'd asked you to write the genotypic ratio. What would the genotypic ratio be? Remember now, this is the genotype. So yes, all the offsprings here, they are tall because, of course, the dominant allele is expressed. But now I'm asking you to write the genotypic ratio. What would the genotypic ratio be? The genotypic ratio. Just attempt for me. It doesn't really matter whether you get it wrong or right. What is important is that you are taking part in the activity. What's a genotypic ratio? Genotype. All right, Butterpill is saying 4 tall, 0 short. That can work as well. Otisha Gray is saying tall, 4, all 4 tall, 0 short. You could say all is tall. I've never seen it represented like Butterpill have represented it, but I don't see why we couldn't represent it like that. Tamara, but all a bit. No, I'm asking you. I'm not too sure what persons are answering now. Remember, I said before that if you're answering for the phenotype, you were supposed to write the F1 generation for the phenotype. So if you're answering for the genotype now, I want you to write F1, the first filial generation genotype, which is the F1 genotype, right? I want to be clear. I want to make sure that we're on the same playing field. So now I want you to give me the F1 genotypic ratio, the ratio. The F1 genotypic ratio, the genotype. See if you can identify the genotype. What's happening there? What is that, Otisha Gray? That F1 is for what? For the genotype or the phenotype? Tamara, 0 short. All right, genotype ratio. Okay, hold on. I am very happy that I'm very happy I'm doing this. Stop, because I realize that I'm confusing you now. All right, so we spoke about the phenotype being the characteristic that you can see. Now, if I ask you about the genotype, is what you're seeing on the paper, the genotype. So here, if you observe, we could write TT, 1 homozygous dominant T, 2, 1 heterozygous. Can you see that? Because you're representing it as the smallest term, and we're talking about genotype. So if you observe, we have 2 homozygous dominant for the trait where we have 2 capital T, 2 capital T. So you are going to have capital T 1 colon, and then you are going to have the heterozygous T, the heterozygous 1. So it would have been for the genotype, it is homozygous 1 and heterozygous 1. So you'd write out. Now you are going to be writing out the allele as capital T1 colon capital T common T1. Understand? And that is for the genotype for the F1 generation. If we are talking about the genotypic ratio, that is how it would have been. All right? So let me just write that on the board. I don't want anybody to get that wrong, you know. So we're looking now at the F1 genotypic ratio. Most time they ask a phenotypic ratio. So it would have been F1 like that. Are we looking at genotypic ratio? Geno. All right. So what I was saying is that we are going to be writing like that. 1 colon, and then we are going to be writing that 1. All right. So this would have been the genotypic ratio. That it's what you are seeing there, the genotype. This is the genotype, you know. Right? So we had 2 genotype, but it must 2 of this, but it must be expressed in its smallest form, hence it becomes 1. This must be expressed in its smallest form, hence 1. Understand? Good. Okay. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. How was it? Was it difficult? Was it difficult, guys? Are you saying yes, Otisha, it was difficult? It was difficult? Talk to me. No, sir, it wasn't difficult. Guys, tell me, was it easy? Was it hard? Was it easy or hard? No, sir, it wasn't hard. All right. So what we did a while ago, I like to call it inheritance of dominance. So we try to look at a dominant trait. What we're saying is that once the dominant allele is expressed, and you will have to use this rule as we go along. As we go along, you'll have to use this rule. So I'm going to be doing something that I have in one of the video I have online now. We're going to be looking, give us a go at another one, sir. All right, I was going to take it as a notch up, you know. I was going a notch up, but I'm going to go a notch up. I'm not going to give you any more of this, but you have to use the same principle. Yes, sir, please. No problem. What I'm going to give you, I follow me, trust me. I'm going to be giving you something. So what we're going to be doing now is one we call test cross. All right. But all right, tell you what. You are the boss here, so whatever you say, I am going to go at it. You are the boss. All right, so just now I gave you, I'm not moving on yet. I'm going to be giving you another one. So here we have, now you will have to write out the thing in full thing. I'm sorry that we don't have something else that we could use. So here we have, I won't call a name. Do the cross there for me and write up the thing that you should write up. What is the parent phenotype here? Give me the phenotype of the parent. Everybody, what's the phenotype of those 2 parents? Phenotype of both parents. Let me have that. Write it in the chat. All right, it's heterozygous, but you can't just say heterozygous. You have to say heterozygous tall. Because we're dealing with this dominant thing and we want to say that we want to point out the trait. So yes, they are tall, but you could say that they are heterozygous tall, and it would tell us that this is not a dominant tall. This is a heterozygous, and that is very important to say. So instead of saying heterozygous, say heterozygous tall. And it would have even been better to say that they are both heterozygous tall, rather than to say that they are heterozygous or they are heterozygous tall. And that is why it's a learning community. Because right away, once you say to me that they are heterozygous tall, I understand, genetic counseling, I have to be careful with what I do. So do the crosses, and as you do the crosses, write down all the possible crosses that you can do, right? And try to learn the ratio, because the ratios never change. All right, so do this one for me and tell me what is your outcome, and then I am going to try to do it on the board, and then we move on to test cross. And after test cross, we're going to do sex determinants, what we call inheritance of sex, And then I am going to be doing, I'm trying to do all the videos I have online because somebody said to me, sir, we want to do these on the live. Yeah, we have seen it, but we want to do it on the live and have some practice and hear you correct us and beat us up on all of that. All right. So Butterpill is here and she have something popping. We're not going to comment on it yet until everybody go cracking. But Butterpill, being that you're outer road and you do your thing, let's just write something else on the board for you. Let us look at, did we look at that already? I'm not sure if we did, but if we did, nothing is wrong if you do it again. Probably we did. All right, you are only required to do one, but for those persons who want to do more than one, that is also fine. All right, so this is going to be our question number 1, or question number 2, or question number 3. You are only required to do one with me. You will have to do the rest in your book. I'll tell you what, we are going to do these using the Punnett Square. All right, so I got that. All right, everybody's on. Remember, the persons who are doing this in grade 11, it's very, very important that you understand these now. The persons in grade 10, you will have a second shot at this, I think, come next year. But for grade 11, I don't know if we're going to revisit this. I have done videos for it. I think there are about 8 different crosses. We're going to be doing all the crosses. I have started the videos for the others already. And person said they wanted to look at this because probably they can read the immunity and read about blood clotting, or who knows. There's always time to teach that. I think we're going really, really fast though. More so what we did in the last class, 2.5 hours. Oh my, I think we did a lot in the last class, a whole lot. So if you ask me, you can use some time to do some genetics today. And we're going to be doing 3 different crosses in one class. Usually I don't do that. I don't do that. But because you guys are bright, I am loading it on. Hi, sir. Let's see one side. There was somebody here earlier that left. I tried talking to them. I was asking if she was Guyanese as well, based on the name, and there was no response. I don't know what happened. Otisa, how many Guyanese do we have in the room, or do we have anybody from Trinidad in the room? You're the only person here from Guyana, Otisha? Anybody here from Trinidad? Trinidad, and I'm shouting out to you. You are online every day with me. I'm seeing you with the videos, the uploads. We want you to join our live. Angel Moore, you are from Guyana? Angel Moore, you're from Guyana? Oh, beautiful. All right. So, Atisha, yes, thank you very much for being here, Angel Moore. We have some Guyanese here. Welcome to the show. Is this your first show? Is this your first show? The first you're being with us? All right. Thank you very much, Atisha. Are we ready to give the answers? Angel, we talk at the end of the show. I have a big family out of Guyana. Talk to me, guys. Are we ready? Where are we? Are we ready to give the answer? We want the answer for question number 1. That's the one you're doing in your book. So you're doing this one now for us. This is the one that we're working on, the one at the top here. All right. So when I'm finished that, I'm going to be going into test cross. remember, with test cross, what we do is to cross the, I'm going to give you the full story around test cross. I think that is like easy. It is exactly like the one we're doing now. Exactly. So after I give you the rules, I don't even think I need to get into it, but I'm not going to leave it in null curriculum. All right. So shoot your answers and let us see. Write in your answers. The answers. Oh, what answers are you supposed to give? You are supposed to give the genotype and phenotype of the F1 generation, and you are also supposed to give me the phenotypic ratio. Too tall and too short. Remember, it is ratio, so you have to have that colon sign between. Remember, it is ratio. So if you say too tall, you're going to put the two little dots. Barnett, you're going to put the two little dots. Put the two little dots, and then you write it. Don't write the end thing. All right, please. We're practicing the right thing. So if I were supposed to write what you have there, I'd write too tall, and then I'd put my colon there, and then I'd write too short. But remember, this wouldn't be right, you know. For Barnett, for ratio, this wouldn't be right, because 2 into itself go one time, 2 into itself go one time. So that would have been the ratio. If that is what you have, it would have been that. Because ratio is in its smallest or simplest form. F1 phenotype, 3 tall, 1 short. Oh, persons getting different things. Otisha Gray saying 2 tall. Otisha, revisit that for me. All right, everybody just come on stream. It doesn't really matter whether you're wrong or right. Just put your information there, because if you would have gotten it wrong, then we have to find out where you made that mistake. All right? It doesn't really matter. Just make sure you put up something there, because the class is about learning. All right? So if you got it wrong, not a problem. Just put up what you have. And okay. So Angel Moore, the first thing Angel Moore did, she put up her genotype. Angel Moore, you are going to write for me the F1 genotype. Always remember that. F1 genotype, because you want to know what you are writing. And then when you are going to write the phenotypic ratio, so remember, you know, the order. I think we are forgetting some things because we jump in the gun. Listen. First thing you're going to write, the first thing you're going to write is the F1 generation phenotype. The second thing you are going to write, the first thing you are going to write is the F1 generation genotype. Then you are going to have the F1 generation phenotype. And then you are going to have the F1 generation phenotypic ratio. Remember? All right, do that for me. Just go slow for me. Just write F1 generation, and you can put them in one post. At the top, you have the genotype, then you have the phenotype, then you have the ratio. All right? And there are persons. Oh, there's another thing coming out. You see why I want you to write these things? In the naming convention, the capital letter usually comes first. All right? So where you have the heterozygous, even though when you crossed it, you got the T at the back, put the T at the front, the capital T at the front. So in the naming convention, the capital usually comes at the front, not at the back. All right? Beautiful. I think we're doing well. All right, so I'm waiting on everybody so I can work it, that everybody can benefit. So I'm waiting on everybody to post. That is it. I'm waiting on everybody to post so that I can work it out so we can all see. All right, please post. Please post. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. Guys, the mistake that you are making, other persons are making. The mistake you are making, probably I am making it. And when I see it out there, I can say, oh, no, something is wrong with that. We're not. You follow me? So please, guys, write what you have. I don't know. I feel like I've lost you guys. Persons are feeling shy. So once you start feeling shy, it's time for Mr. Wilson to start writing. So I think we crossed the first thing that we're supposed to look at is we cross two heterozygous parent. They were both heterozygous for tall. All right, so the phenotype is usually at the top. So they are tall and tall. Now, not because you write tall here, you're not going to write tall here. You need to write tall both sides. All right, then the next thing that we did, we break away to the gametes. I am not writing anything over here because I don't have any board space, but you should. All right, and then the gametes down here. All right, so just let me put some, let me just put this here. All right, so this is gamete, this is genotype, and this is phenotype, and this is segregation. All right, so then we go again and we do that. All right, just let me break away the gamete. All right, and then having done this, now we're going to have segregation here where we're going to cross. Remember, we come straight down, put this capital T there, straight down. Remember the straight lines first. And then we come across, and we don't wait until we're finished. Once we draw the line, we've carried down the letter. So we have two capital T's there, which means that this is homozygous dominant. Then we're going to pull down another straight line here. And we're not going to wait on any time. We're just going to carry down the letter just the same time. To prevent confusion, you can just circle them like that for your exam. Just circle them so that you don't think that this is one thing. Oh, what went wrong here, right? All right, cool. So now that we have this connected to this, then it's fitting that we have this connected to that. So we go on over here. Am I crossing the right thing? I told you heterozygous, right? Two heterozygous, cool. And there we go again. I carried on that one and I circle it again. And this is our F1 generation, first filial generation genotype. You have to write out the words. Don't follow me writing these stuff. If you don't understand what I'm writing at the side here, feel free to ask me at any time. And then we have two straight lines down here. This is incomplete, this is incomplete, this is incomplete, this is incomplete, because we're having one line. We should have two. Remember, all that the genetic stuff that we're doing now, it falls under what we call monohybrid inheritance. When you get to universities, you will do dihybrid and trihybrid, but we're just looking at the inheritance of one trait for CXC. We could look at more than that, but for CXC, it's just one to look at, and it's called monohybrid inheritance. So we're going to be drawing down another line here. Now, if you observe, this letter is already connected to this letter. So we don't want this letter to be connected to this a second time. However, this is not connected to this. So what we do, we go back. It's usually very, very easy. If you start out standard and you're going far, near, and near, far, when you start again, you go near, near. All right? I'm going to be writing out something for that. It sort of sounds cool. I've never thought about it, but I'm going to be writing some formula like far, far, near, near, that type of thing to solve it. All right? So I didn't do what I should, but remember, in the naming convention, you're going to be writing the capital letter first. I chat myself out of that just now, and you see we get these. Always write the capital letter first, and then now this one is still incomplete, one line there. This is still incomplete, one line there. And if you observe, I am not confusing myself, because as I go along, I'm writing in the letters and circle them so I know what is missing where. So I know that this needs another line because it has one. This needs another because it has one. And then I remember I'm supposed to be drawing this line down. So I'm going to be putting the T there as I draw it, and it needs another letter. All right, because it's two allele, alternate allele. All right, so then we go across now over here, and we have a capital T. All right, and because we have been circling them so that we're not confused, and we end up with that. All right, anybody is here? Do we understand that? So that's the F1 generation and all the solving and the breakaway and all of that. All right, so it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps to F1 generation. All right, so now what we want to write, so the first part we have, this is going to be the F1, the phenotype, the genotype for the F1. So we could probably write genotype F1 genotype, F1 genotype. All right, erase. And for the F1 genotype, I am going to show that I know what I'm talking about. So the F1 genotype, I'm going to be writing that, and then I'm going to be writing that, and then I'm going to be writing that, and then I'm going to be writing that. All right, so the comma there. All right, Baba black sheep, have you any wool? Yes sir, 3 bags full. So this would have been my first answer. All right, I don't know persons, you're probably not seen it. All right, so there we have it. All right, homozygous dominant tall, homozygous recessive short, heterozygous. All right, if you are not in agreement with what I have done, that's fine. Let's do it again if we have to do it again. All right. All right, good. So now we're going to be looking at the F1 generation phenotype. F1 generation phenotype. And phenotype refers to that which you can see. So now we know that this here is going to be tall. Oh my. All right, so we know. Oh wow. Hope you're seeing well. So we know that this is going to be tall, and that's for that. We know that this here is going to be short, and then we know that these two are going to be tall, so it's going to be tall, and comma again, and we know tall. All right, so we would have written the phenotype, we would have written the genotype for all 4 here for the F1 generation. We would have written the phenotype for all 4 here for the F1 generation. But now we need to write the phenotypic ratio. All right, so with the phenotypic ratio, it refers to what we can see, and it is going to come from the phenotype. So based on what we have here, it is going to be, can I just turn the book? All right, let me just erase some of what I have here. Oh, this one, oh, it got a little tricky for you. Oh my, I'm very sorry. All right, I'm going to tell you. So the first thing we had there was tall. So what we could write is tall 1, and then we have our colon, and then we are going to write short 1, and then we have our colon, and then we are going to write now. Oh no, that is wrong. There are 2 other phenotypic ratio. What I just said is wrong just now. I didn't even realize. So it's going to be 3:1. All right, so tall is going to be 3, short is going to be 1. I'm very sorry. All right, because we have 2 heterozygous. We have 2 heterozygous tall, 1 homozygous tall, and 1 homozygous short recessive. So your answer for the phenotypic ratio is going to be tall 3 to short 1. Are you in agreement, sir? I cannot see the board. I know you can't see the board, but I thought you were following with the writing. Sir, I see where I went wrong. All right, so I was saying that it's going to be like this. And how did I arrive at my answer? Tall 3. This is tall. Just let me just circle them. So this here is tall. That is the first tall one. This is tall, second tall, though it is heterozygous there. All right, and this is also tall, heterozygous there, tall, and then this is going to be short. So that's the only one short. So it's 1, 2, 3 to 1. So it's tall 3 to short 1. All right? Is everybody all right? Or do I want to mashing up? Wanna good? Are you fine? Are you doing well? Did I do some injustice a while ago? Yes, you're good. All right, beautiful. All right, what I'm going to be doing now, with this one, we throw some persons to the side of the curve. What I'm going to be doing now, we're going to be solving it on the Punnett Square. because the syllabus wants you to use the Punnett Square as well. But like I talk about this thing here, remember, even when you're using the Punnett Square, you need to break it down to the gametes and all of that. And then the segregation, the Punnett Square. I'm not even sure how the segregation going at the Punnett Square. You just put it in the Punnett Square. The Punnett Square, I know most time is solved the way that you would have seen me solve it in the video. So let us just erase this from the board, and let us get to the Punnett Square. But it's amazing. In the video online, I would have taken probably about 20 or 25 minutes to teach it. But when I teach it on the live, I am taking almost 2 hours. All right. That's a thing. When I do the videos, there is no replay for it to go half an hour and 2 hours. But when we do live stream, you get an opportunity to say, sir, let's do that again. Let's do that again. So we have to do it again. And of course, we're leaving nobody behind, because if you come to my live and you leave and you did not learn what was intended for you to learn, it suggests that I probably did something wrong or you did something wrong. I'd love for nobody to do anything wrong. All right, so we come back down to the gametes. I like to talk about that. At no point should you start the cross from the genotype. So we are down at the gametes. So we are using the Punnett Square for those persons who are doing it for the first time. So let us just move on. Remember, the Punnett Square is just a rectangle, and I'm going to make it very easy. So it's just a rectangle like that. And the rectangle has 2 lines. I'll have to get an easel. All right, if you guys can send me an easel, that would be nice. I'm in Kingston. All right. 2 horizontal line like that. All right. And then we have 2 vertical lines. All right. So we're looking at the Punnett Square. Then what we do is cross that. And if we were doing like inheritance of sex or sex determination, you don't see it in my video, I would put the male up here, so. And it no matter whether you got top or bottom. All right, so the male would be here, and we would put the female there. If you don't remember these fancy symbols, just write the word. It's fine. Just write a word. It's fine. You don't have to use the symbol. Just write a word. All right, so I choose to take it from here, or I could take it from there, or I could write tall here or tall here, whichever. If it was tall and short, probably I could write that there as well. So you don't really have to write this. You probably could write tall or short. You see, because you want to remember as a rookie probably what information you are putting there. So probably you want to write tall, and you probably want to write that it is tall because it's a regular table, it's a table. So then we use the first set here, and we do like that first, that, so that one come there, and then we go there, and that one come there, and then we're going to carry this over here. And we have a capital T there. We carry that one down here. We have a common T. So you observe that it is represented. And it can be represented anyway. You could put this over here, so, or you could put that over there. So it's serious no matter. All right, random. Yeah, it's serious no matter. Then all we do, wherever the letters intercept, we write both letters. So hey, you intercept over here, T. Oh, you're here as well. Not a marble, T. Oh, what about over here? Oh my, yes, intercept there. What about, oh, intercept there? That's the first 2 of the F1 generation. Then we come over here. Now, we really don't want to write it. Always the capital letter first. So if we write in, we just write it over there. So, and then we carry this one down there. And then that. All right. Now, I need to show you something. This is a standard. This is a standard. You might have seen me working it out and fighting and all of that. We don't have to fight. We know what the result is going to be. Once you cross the heterozygous, and it is inheritance of dominance. Once it's dominant, the ratio is always going to be 3:1. So we know what the ratio is going to be. It's standard. And cross it anytime and see we're not going to get a ratio of 3:1. The ratio is always going to be 3:1. So all of these that would mix and match and whatever, the ratio is standard. So when CXC asks, what is the ratio on the multiple choice paper? Oh, come on, the ratio is standard. It is always going to be 3:1 for this particular cross. when it is like that. All right? And remember, the only problem you should be having in the exam is to determine whether or not we're doing dominance, whether or not we are doing, me getting confused. I know the first one good. All right, cool. All right, I'm happy that you are confused. In confusion, that is where learning begins. All right, because if you are confused, it tells you that you're not understanding something. All right, so beautiful. One person is confused, that is too much person not to understand. All right, so if one person doesn't understand, we are going to go on all over. All right, so we are solving the same question we had before, right? So when we started out, we said that we were crossing a heterozygous parent tall with a heterozygous parent tall. And then the other thing we needed to do is to identify the allele as associated with the gamete. So we did that. Now, instead of doing all these cross here, what we're doing, we are using another method which is syllabus said that we should use, which is called the Punnett Square. So it's called Punnett. It's called the Punnett Square. Now, the Punnett Square is pretty much just a rectangle. All right? So we use this information in Punnett Square, and it is much easier than the other one for most persons. So we just draw a rectangle like that, and then we just run two lines. I always tell my students, it is a rectangle with two lines going across, going horizontal, and two lines going down. It's like my music every year. Two lines going across, two lines going down, and then you just split the first cell diagonal. Right. Good. I normally tell them that. Then you decide what you are going to put in these cells at the top here, or what you're going to put in these cells at the top, at the side here. So we decide that we are going to put these two cells, these two there, and we decide that we're going to put these two here. It is the same cross that you were doing just now, but what we are doing now, it's easy. We don't have to worry about the line crossing over each other like that, and you don't know what is going where. With this one, you just know that anywhere the two letters intersect, that is what you have. That's what you're going to write here. And let me tell you something, Otisha. While that cross one is very important at CXC, when you are doing dihybrid inheritance, this is what you'll have to use, because this is going to make it much, much easier for you. All right, so we're going to carry this over T right there, T right there. This T come right here, this come down. This T go over here. The capital always come in front, so you put it there. All right, so this T go over here, and then we have that T there. All right, it is always going to be a little difficult. You are all locked into the lines, and because you're locked into the lines, of course, it is going to be a little challenging for you. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how much you are learning. I am draw up your Punnett Square nicely now, and I'm going to be giving you two offspring. Now, this is going to be from the F1 generation. I'm going to be pulling two from the F1 generation, and I'm going to be crossing them to see what the F2 generation will be. So I'm going to be crossing the homozygous dominant. Could you write that down for me? The homozygous dominant tall with the homozygous recessive tall. Use the Punnett Square to cross those for me and tell me what is your result. So we are talking about the homozygous dominant. This is the homozygous dominant, two big T, and the homozygous recessive, two little t. So we are crossing these two for our F2 generation, right? So that is the second cross, right? So cross these two in a Punnett Square, draw a Punnett Square, do that cross, and tell me what you get. Draw a Punnett Square, and I get it. I get it on to it, sir. All right, yeah, man, that's fine. You're going to get it, man. If you learn it at first, you'd have probably been a genius. I mean, for most persons, it take them a little time, and some persons just give up and say, "Hey, I am just not doing this thing. This thing is not for me." So if you're having a little challenge with it, don't worry yourself too much. That is why we are here. We are here to ensure that learning is fun. The F1. All right, so the F1 for this F2 is going to be T. I don't know it. I don't know, but my interest here is that we are using the Punnett Square because the syllabus is saying that I should teach you both diagrams and all the other fancy dances that I have taught you so far. So once you can work it out, I want everybody to work it out. I want everybody to be on board. And then having done that, I'm very happy that Butterpill is coming in like, she has smashed, she has hit it out of the park. All right. So I'm not going to be doing test cross this evening because test cross, I could just tell you what the rules say. In the test cross, what happens as you work it out, learn to multitask. If you don't hear what I say, just ask me to say it again. In the test cross, you have two individuals, for example, that is tall, right? So Otia Gray is tall and Moore is tall. There are two sisters, then they are tall. There are two friends and they are tall. And there's this fellow that is interested in them both. But this fellow might have a genes that if he goes with the heterozygous, have the allele, if he goes with the heterozygous, he might have children that are short if she is heterozygous. And we could work that out and I'll show you. And he doesn't want that. He wants tall children because he has interest in having kids that can play basketball. So you see these two persons, for the phenotype, they are tall. But you want to ensure that offspring that is going to come from these two individuals, the offspring is tall. So what you will have to do is what is called a test cross. Now, what the test cross does is to make a determination whether the person was homozygous or heterozygous. So to do the test cross, what you are going to do, you are going to cross the homozygous dominant tall with the homozygous recessive tall. That is for one of your cross. And you're also going to cross the heterozygous tall with homozygous recessive to see the outcome. So in all cases, you are crossing the two type of tall, homozygous tall and heterozygous tall with recessive. The rule there is that you are using the recessive. All right? The rule there is that you're using the recessive. Right? And then, based on the outcome, it will tell you what the individual was. Now, remember that this is simulation. I encourage you to watch that on my video. There's a video I have out on test cross. Go and watch the rest of that on test cross. I'm not going to be doing that today because I would have shown you the basic here. So the rest of it you could get from the video. Just up on over to my channel. It is CSEC Biology, the cover page. The videos on genetics, they are there. I would have covered already test cross, inheritance of sex or sex, some inheritance of sex thing there, or sex determination. And I would have also covered sex-linked inheritance. And sex-linked inheritance is very, very important because it speaks to color blindness, it speaks to hemophilia, among other recessive traits. Now, the thing when we started out, we were talking about recessive trait versus dominant trait. And when we look at that, we're going to do that very, very quickly. We have about 15 minutes. I'm not sure we're going to get it in 15 minutes, but we're going to see how much we can do in it. All right, so for this Punnett Square now, the one you're solving, I only say answer from two persons. The other persons can write. Remember what I'm telling you, there's a video there for it, so you can just go online and look at the video. So the video is there. Just go and watch the video again and say, oh, I understand a little better now. Oh, that's what he was doing. I see. That type of thing. All right. So, no, I didn't ask for any interpretation about the F1 something. I think we go through that already. I just want you to understand how this is done. The F1 thing, probably we'll start to have a look on that probably when we do a revision next week, if you want us to do a revision next week, Sunday on this. But we still have circulation to finish, but not a problem. You have your Sundays for grade 11. So however you want to use your grade 11 class time, that's fine for me. All right, we can't do it on any other day. Sunday is grade 11, Friday is grade 10, Wednesday is ecology. All right, so I'm going to be doing the cross. I don't even remember what I told you. Oh, yes, I remember very well. I am using the homozygous dominant as if this was the back cross, as if this was a test cross with the recessive, homozygous recessive. So I have that there. So it was very easy. All I did was to carry this T over here and carry this T down here, carry this T over here, and carry this T down here, carry this T over here, carry this T down here, carry this T over here, carry that T down there. And what you find is that all the offspring are heterozygous stall. So it suggests that the parent was dominant. All right, so that would be the answer for that. All right, so that out of the way, there was a parent or a man with some women in Moscow. You could check the Guinness World Record book this. I think they would have had a beautiful record for children. I think about 69 are there about children. Just check the Guinness World Record for me online. And they would have had the record then for the highest number of children. But despite they had so many children, they just could not say what would be. Did I ask, was everybody finding what I did just now? Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. All right. Beautiful. Everybody was fine with that. Sorry about that. I didn't even remember. So despite they had this large number of kids, they couldn't say the next time that they got pregnant what the offspring would have been. Now, before modern medicine, there was no way to know, because before modern medicine, nature would determine what the other offspring would have been. Now, what I'm going to be showing you is how we do that genetic cross in order to determine what the phenotypic ratio will be. And the phenotypic ratio for that is also well defined and everybody knows. So I'm going to be cleaning the board and I'm going to be showing you that. That's a very easy one, but you are going to have to do this bit and have an appreciation of this before you can go to sex-linked inheritance. And I don't think I want to do sex-linked inheritance today, because you've had a mouthful today. Trust me, you've had a mouthful. And if you hear me blabbing and asking a lot of questions about a lot of things, it means that some of these things I just recall. But genetics, I don't want to spoil your day, and I don't want to start it and leave it in the middle. All right. So I'm just going to be showing you inheritance of sex when we are sex determination. When we are finished that, we do it in both the Punnett Square and the this genetic cross. And once we would have completed that, we could just have our little chick-chat session, Coulomb session. If you have any question there after, I'll answer your questions. And then we're going to be getting ready for school tomorrow. I don't want to keep it too long. It's Sunday evening. I really don't want to go over 2 hours with you for a Sunday evening. That wouldn't be nice. Then probably next week you wouldn't turn up for my show. You're going to say that the show is too long. All right. So when we started out the show, we were talking about what is that cover page moment of the week for you. The cover page moment is that popping story, that thing that was like something standing out. Somebody said that they heard that they didn't have to do a surgery. I mean, anybody who get that is going to be a cover page moment. It is something you want to celebrate. And for those persons who are learning something new, if you were a little lagging behind, or your teacher or school was a little backward because of technology, then it's going to be, of course, a cover page moment for you. All right, so the chromosome that represents male and female, we're going to be looking at that now. Now, for the female, it's going to be XX. So females have XX. There are a lot more stuff I have said about this inheritance. I'm going to ask you to go to the video and watch it. I'm just going to be teaching you the cross. So all the other things that I've said about this, go to the video and watch it, and it will help you. Trust me, it will help you. Enough other things you need to know that is going to make this probably simpler. For the male, it is going to be XY. Now, I never ever teach this without sharing my joke with you guys. Once I teach inheritance of sex or sex determination, I always give this genetic joke. It might not be the best of joke for you, but it is a genetic joke. All right. So in your RE class, they might say to you that's religious education. They might say to you that women came from men because in the Bible, Adam gave up our ribs, or somebody in the Bible gave up our ribs to make women. Is that so? Tell me in the chat there. Is it true? Somebody in the Bible gave up our ribs so that we could have women. Is that true? Tell me in the chat. Yes. Okay. Yes. So it is said in the Bible. I don't know. I'm not so much good at religion. Yes, it is said. Okay. So them say, all right, Juliana Walker. Hey, welcome. You were here all this. You just come in, Julian. Look how long I'm gonna see you. All right. So yeah, it is said. So when we get as men, we usually say, hey, you know that you should be treating me a little better because had it not been me, you wouldn't have been here. I gave up one of my ribs just for you to be here. And then I end up with a half a ribs down here so that they call floating ribs, all because I gave you my ribs. And look how you're treating me. I called to you and you won't even call, you won't even respond. I mean, I should have just taken back my ribs because my ribs made you. So what the girls are saying in genetics class, that is not true. That's not true. What they're saying in genetics class to say, they're saying, look here, you who call yourself a man, you're not really a man. You're not really a man. You are a hybrid woman. You are really a woman, but you are a mutated woman, not a full, you're not even a full woman. You are nobody. And why they're saying that you are half of a woman, they are saying this is a woman. You see, it's a full X. And the man over here says have one X, and they are saying that this is a alpha X. They say the Y is a alpha X. So a man is actually a hybrid woman and not a real man. They say that we are nothing at all. We are just really hybrid. Something went wrong and made us. But women is a real thing because they are fully made, but we are actually half a woman. That's what they say. I am not going to agree with that. I don't even know if I should stay on the side of the ribs. I don't. Kevin, where are you? Are you still here? What do you say about that? What do you say about that? Ladies, what you think? You think we're hybrid women, or you think you actually got our ribs? Which of the story is true? Hybrid women or the rib story? Which you think is true? I don't know. You're not talking to me. I hope that you're not laughing yourself to death. But I heard of this joke. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. You guys are half of us. Okay, Otisha. Otisha, take a position. Otisha just said, listen to me. Where you going vex or not, let me tell you something, sir. You are nothing but a half a woman. All right, that's fine. What I am happy about is that I am alive. Whether I am half a woman, quarter woman, full woman, or a full mom, I really don't care. All right. So the Bible story. So okay, Barnett is saying that. Listen to me, man. We are half a man because we actually have infidem ribs. Whichever one is fine for me, sir. If we weren't here, then men wouldn't exist either. Who knows? Tell him. I don't know. I don't know. You don't have to play it safe, you know. It doesn't mean that if you say that I am a half a woman, I'm not going to have a class again, you know. But you don't have to play it safe. You can say what you have to say. All right, so let us continue with this. Now, the chromosome here for women and for men, it is always like that. All right, so it's always XX for women and XY for men. All right, XX for women, XY for men. And the cross is just like how we did do it before. All you do, you just pull down your line down here, so you have a first X, and pull over that one here down here, so you have another X. Pull this down here, so first X. Pull that down there, so you have a Y. Pull down this line there. Since it did go here, so already we can't go there, so we have to go over here, so we end up have XY, and then we're going to pull down this line. We have an X there, and this never connect to this, so we connect it here, so we end up with XX. That was fast a while ago, but that is what we've been doing since day. If it's too fast for you, just tell me. So this is the genotype for the F1 generation. So you observe that every time that a woman gets pregnant, the chances of her having offspring, we could represent it as ratio, fraction, or fraction, or percentage. So each time a woman get pregnant, based on what we are seeing here, this is a male, and this is a male, and female here, and female here. So the chances always are 50-50% of her having a boy or a girl, or it's always going to be 1-to-1. The ratio is going to be 1-to-1, or it could also be half and half. All right. So every time that a woman gets pregnant, her chances of having a boy or a girl, it's random fertilization. It is always going to be half and half, 1-to-1, or 50-50. Now, with the advanced medicine that exists, that might change. I'm not too sure. I'm not with the cutting edge in technology. But if that has changed, it could have dire consequences for the population. All right, and how we grow or how we remain the same. So that is pretty much what we have for today. We would have looked at inheritance of dominance, and a little bit of course, the last question we did in the Punnett Square was the test cross. In that case, we looked at the dominant homozygous dominant, and we would have looked at, I think, the recessive, the heterozygous earlier. Now, for all the crosses that I have done this evening, they are on the channel. Go to the channel, the crosses that we have done. We would have done test cross. We would have done inheritance of sex or sex determination, whichever one you want to call it, and click those. We did not do inheritance of, sir, this thing easy, man. Me no know what me did I run from. Well, everybody, we were both, okay, both needed for existence. All right, that's fine. All right, the thing about it is that everybody is running from genetics. And like I started out by saying, if a foundation is not properly built, then the house will topple. And while I have given you these are the simple ones, and you have to know these in order to get into the higher ones. So when we look, for example, like at blood group, blood group is going to be a tricky one because we have codominance there. And with codominance, what happens is that both how should I put it? I like to teach it very, very simple before I start giving you the hardcore thing. Sir, we are not hybrid women. All right, very good. So Kevin is saying that we're not hybrid women. He's with the Bible stuff. All right, sir, is mitosis. Is mitosis. I don't like it. All right, so mitosis is sort of easy. Mitosis is easy. And so guys, why are you guys mashing up my class? You want me to teach mitosis next week? All right, let me tell you. With mitosis, write down this. Let me write it on a piece of paper. I am just back in. With mitosis, it is simple. It is IP mod C. IPMATC. This is mitosis. And mitosis is PMAT. You can see the paper mark up and look, I'll read crappy. So you see the I up at the top and the C down at the bottom. Those are not a part of mitosis, but it's it's the start of the process and where it ends. But PMAT in the middle, that is actually mitosis, and it is prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. Right? Now at the top here, this is interphase and this is cytokinesis. But this here is what mitosis is. Now I can tell you, I mean, there are good videos online, but it is very easy. Now, if mitosis is your problem, you have no problem. No, I think meiosis is a little more challenging because meiosis has this double step thing, because meiosis is the one that takes place when we are doing reproduction. All right. So remember, we talk about haploid and diploid. I wasn't there yet. The question I'm supposed to ask before I leave is there anybody in the room that is doing exam for January? You are doing exam for January? All right. So first, let me just answer the question and then I get back to you, Butterpills. Is there anybody here for January? All right. I think the answer for that is no. All right. So the fact that I'm citing that there are some problems with mitosis and meiosis. Oh, you are doing your next year. All right. The fact that I'm seeing that there are some challenges here for mitosis and meiosis, I won't do that lesson next week because I still want to finish circulation. I still have to stick to what the guns. Sir, I am writing May, June because of you. May, June, that is May, June this year? Otisha, that's May, June this year? All right, if you're writing exam May, June, we need to know because we need to ensure that you're up with the labs and all of that. I have students who are writing May, June. If you observe that I'm doing grade 10 syllabus and grade 11 syllabus, we're thinking that we're going to be finished on time in 2021. Yeah. So if you are writing it, then I strongly suggest to you students, I'm that type of teacher who like to tell students, get the summary book. Because the truth is, we don't read. We don't like to read. And when I look at the channel on the weekend, people don't watch my channel on the weekend. Very few. So what I'm trying to do, because it's taking so much time, I do the live, and when I do the live, I try to cover a lot in the live. I am supposed to be uploading videos for all the live that I do, but to upload video, it takes way more time to put the video together, to do the research, to put it together, to get the graphic. If you don't have a graphic, then you will have to draw it because I don't have money to buy it. So I have to sit down and draw it to do the animation, and I do almost everything. I do almost everything. Plus, I have to work. I have to go to work every day, so I have to do all of that. But I try my best. I think I'm working on 5 videos now. I'm working on the lab for enzymes. I've been putting that together, and then I got a little board, and I'm completing the lab for heterotrophic, autotrophic, and saprophytic. I'm working on that as well. I'm working on a new lab, on a new genetic cross for complete and incomplete dominance. I'm working on all the dominance lab at the same time. I'm working on photosynthesis. I'm working at a number of animation to come out. I am also doing an animation for the carbon cycle that is supposed to come out. So I am like really, really busy working. I have it, sir, but all that reading, me look on the book and come look for you on online. Okay. All right. So yes, we wanted to read that book. We wanted to read the book. Yes, follow our channel. Yes, we are going to be with you as much as we can, as much. Like I say, I am coming from another parish. So on the weekends, I'm not in Kingston, I'm in another parish, but I have to hurry on over. My fiance was saying, hey, you have the live, you have to leave out. And I travel like 2 hours to get back in to get to the show on time. It means as much to her as it does mean to me. To see these shows, to see, we really want to see you really successful. Is it the concise book for summary? Yes, the concise book. Yeah, there are many concise books, but there is one that somebody asked about Antindale last week or some time ago. I think the Antindale book is a wonderful book. I have been looking at her series for some time. And might I put the disclaimer out there? I like to do this. I am not paid by any publishing house to produce these videos. I am not in any way supported by the publishing house. Prior to probably a year or two ago, publishing house would have sent me copies of their books, and probably the author not even know me. Yeah, those people sell the book, know me, and them just carry 2 books and say, hey, it's a 2 book, the way you think about the book, that type of thing. Right? So I have used a couple of textbooks, and this is one of the books that I like. I was looking at a different summary book today, and I was reading something in the summary book, and it was way off from the truth. And I was like, how can we have this book out for CXC and this story is just so false? You know? So of course, and I think there's some other false story, because the first time I saw that book, a student brought it to me, and when I saw it and I went through a couple of pages, I was like, oh, this author really needs some work because something here is not so wonderful. I won't name the book though, but the Antindale, I think you can use it. I hope somebody from Antindale Publishing House is listening here and they'd like to support this show, support this program. Or if there's anybody out there in distant land who would like to support us, we would be very grateful. We need a lot of things. We need better equipment that we can do the live and we can do the real teaching from where we are to wherever you are, and we can stop and have somebody watch the screen and that type of thing, and we can make sure that we are reaching you wherever you are the 3 days that we see you live. We're giving you 6 hours extra per week. It's like voluntary service. 6 hours I'm giving away every week, but I think I like it. I had something on my board there that says that you should do what you like and don't worry about where you do. Because at times we're doing something, and because of where we are, I mean, it just changed all the vibes. I just don't feel like being a teacher anymore because the school is just not treating me nice. But then you have to find back your rhythm and say, hey, I like what I do. Don't worry about where I do. So I think I am doing what I like and not where I like. So this teaching thing, I like to teach, I like to learn. And when I make a mistake, I like when students say, hey, sir, something is not right here. I'm that type of teacher. So I'm always learning, I'm always reading, I'm always doing something else. Sir, thank you very much. It means so much to me. I am most grateful. And thank you as well. Today, I think of course, I'm going to be asking for subscribers every day. I'm going to be asking for persons to watch the shows every day from start to finish. Yeah, we want to become monetized. And even before we become monetized, I have some bags, some drawstring bags that should come out as soon as we become monetized. And you know that I'll be sending these bags to persons, and I have to send bags over Guyana and so on. I not even know if Otisha go pay for accept the bag or how it go, but we have to send back to all of these persons who are always online, and some persons who are always online, some persons who are always on the video and so on, all over the place. Otisha, I know you're all over the place among other persons. I see your comments on the video and other guys. Remember to leave a comment when you watch the video. The video good, the video not good. Either video, you should have do this, you should have do that. Take the music out of the video too high, the music too high. Better soundtrack. The soundtrack that we're using, they are soundtrack that would have come with the softwares that I'm using. Or I would have to go to YouTube Media Library to get a soundtrack. I can't use people nice fancy dances song, but we get in trouble on YouTube with like really sanction me really heavy. So I can't do that. But of course, it was good having you. More, you're here for the first time. Otisha is like a family now because, like I said today, I was in another parish and I saw somebody who was watching the show, and I was like, tell me 2 persons from the show. Where's my friend from Spanish Town? All right, my friend from Spanish Town, she named her, and she also named Otisha Gray. And I was about to say, tell me 1 person that is not Jamaican. I got Otisha Gray. She's from Guyana. And now we have Angel. Angel Moore, it's your time to chat. How are you, Angel? This is a part of the show where we have our Caribbean connection, so to speak, where we integrate with this Caribbean classroom. We ask a couple of questions and we allow you to ask a couple of questions. We have a number of Jamaican students in the room. There are a number of persons who are watching online. So don't be worried about the figures you're seeing here. There are persons who are always watching online, hundreds of persons watching online. We see it at the end of the show. So we're going to be talking to Angel Moore. She is from Guyana, and she's going to tell us what she wants to tell us. We don't want to nail it to the cross because security is very, very important, and I don't want persons to have your personal information and stuff. Just general stuff we want to know. General stuff we want to know, like probably. What do we want to know? Otisha, what do we want to know? Ask her something. No? Kids, adult learner, we have another Guyanese here on show. Please ask her some questions about Guyana. She'll ask you some questions about Jamaica, whichever way. What do you want to be? So Butterpill is asking Angel Moore, what do you want to be? A Guyanese. That question is for you, Miss Moore. What do you want to be? What do you want to become? What's your career? What's your career path? Are you with us? Angel? Okay. So Moore, Atisha Grace from Guyana, and she wants to know which school do you attend in Guyana? While Butterpills want to know what career, what would you like to become? Please, at any moment, you can feel free to plead the fifth. You don't have to answer all the questions. Answer the questions that you're comfortable with. I want to pursue a career in science field, preferable pharmacist. Wow, I have a student who is third year now in that field. All right, beautiful. So Atisha Gray, she's from Guyana as well, and she'd love to know which school do you attend? All right, so we have online another Guyanese. We are trying to ensure that we become this international classroom where we have students from Jamaica who can talk to persons from across the Caribbean. That's where we started. We can say that, hey, I know somebody in Guyana. She attends the school, and the Guyanese can say, I know somebody in Jamaica. They attend the school, or this teacher is from Jamaica. His name is Mr. Wilson. Do you know Mr. Wilson? He's from Kingston, teaches biology, teaches environmental science, teaches agriculture, that type of a thing, teaches HSB, that type of a thing. All right, so Angel is answering. She Leonara Secondary, I think. What is the most popular artist over in, so who is the most popular artist in Guyana? Who is the most popular artist? I am from. Hey, you Miss Otisha. What the KKKKK see me? We don't understand that in Jamaica. What's baby school? I don't understand. Guys, stop talking about me head. Me not understand, no. In Jamaica, we have basic school, primary school, junior high, all age, high school, and then we have the tertiary class. All right, it seems as if we're not answering some of the questions. All right, artist, sir. Artist not as in the persons who draw. In Jamaica, a question like that, we want to know like a DJ or somebody that sings. Like in Jamaica, they talk about Bob Marley and so on. Oh, you see, even these words, they are like not Jamaican. Kukor Cooperative College. Okay. Oh, so you're talking about baby school in that you there college and she there high school. You think easy? Oh, baby Skello is the artist. Mama. So can I find that person online? What they sing? What this person sing? What the person sings? I tell you, I am so dumb when it comes to this thing. Forgive me, guys. Forgive me. I am so dumb. And more, don't be offended by Otisha. Otisha does give a little trouble now and then, but she's one of our greatest here. I think everybody loves Otisha. No, sir. Don't look for it. I wonder why. Otisha, sir, you will get a good laugh. All right, hold on a bit. Can somebody find for me baby Skillo? Skello, baby Skillo? Or somebody can lend me a tablet? Hold on, I have a tablet over here. All right, so it seems as if the battery is dead, but we're going to be listening to Baby Skiller because you guys are laughing at us, and you said that that is your wicked artist over there. Otisha, go look for Summer Body. So Summer Body is a Guyanese song too. Summer Body. I'm Jamaican. Forgive me. I live in Jamaica, but I don't know. Persons who have to leave, you have to leave. This is the part where we just start to drop a shoulder. It's after class now, and we are in the lobby and we are just chatting, having fun. At one point we start looking at the book, and then this is the part where we have fun at the show. Where we talk about culture, what happening in your country, and what happening in my country, who have the best song and all of them stuff there. All right. So if you have to go, you have to go. But if you want to join in this conversation, we are pretty much in the lobby, in the foyer, and we're having fun. And the corridor type of thing, underneath the mango tree, underneath the almond tree, underneath that tree around there, so around that lazy bench over there. So the seat of the scornful up at the university, down at that place there. That place over there, underneath the guango tree. That place, that's where we are now, It's like a break time, lunchtime type of thing, or we just a talk. But even though me are the teacher, I'm in the talk just the same, Because me are one of them teachers that we can deal with the talk. And the student them start to respect the thing and know that they're not supposed to cross certain type of line. But of course, life is a real place and teachers do understand a lot of things. Let me go up here, so I go on now. Baby Skiller, him look hungry. Lord Jesus, be careful of them, the adjective the way I use the people, them artists not do that. Hey, don't do that to the people and artists. Because next thing they go talk about, have one teacher in Jamaica were ugly. I mean, a dependent type of something there. Not do that, please, not do that. I don't feel offended. No. Nobody with the people and artists like that. Go look for somebody. All right. Otisha said go look for somebody because it look like you just find them worst artists. Like, but last week I think Adi Plus said Amari was our top artist. You guys know Amari? Oh, yes. I am a born Jamaican. I don't even know where to find the airport so good. But when it comes to the artists and the song stuff, it's just not my thing. I'm so sorry. And I have kids when I have like class or something, they just tell me when we have like session like this, they just tell me things more him. Yeah, go have to love it. But Otisha, she going like she a Jamaican and be a potter she chatting. Somebody not seeing that. Juliana Walker, she not seen the summer body stuff that you guys talking about, Yep. All right. Is top Gallus. Who the top Gallus? I really don't know these songs. I am so sorry, guys. I really don't know these songs. I don't forgive me. This is a part of class where I just listen and just look and just smile. I don't know. But of course, I have to allow the interaction to take place between the students. So I am not going to be right. Sir, I'm not ready yet. All right. So probably they would say the same thing about about our artists. And what that means is that probably next week we have to talk about how do we communicate to persons we don't know about their like or dislike. We don't want to communicate in a manner that is offensive is in any way. So we have to work on that. Sir, I'm not ready yet. My song name, the name of the song, Top Girl is Baby Skill song. So Top Girl is a Baby Skill song. Baby Skill sing it. Man let's Sir see it. Mine are not because see things that I can't manage, I can't manage a lot of things. I like a baby when it come on to certain things. I'm reading now my mother beat me. So wanna be very careful. Wanna send me go watch things where me go get beaten for watch. All right. You're going to get a good laugh. Baby scale. All right. So I don't know. The tablet seems to be out. One charger or something. And I think I will look at it. All right. So we finished asking our question. We're all right now. You guys asked the Jamaicans. You asked Juliana Walker about Jamaica. Um, you guys finished asking the questions between country. I remember Otisha said that she wants some of Miss Donna pudding, so she know a whole heap about Jamaica. Maybe you know Miss Donna. I see her about 2-3 times on the internet. I don't know. But I remember Otisha said that, or somebody said, Tanisha or Otisha, one of you, I don't remember which of you. But I know it was a Guyanese who wanted some pudding or cake or something that Miss just check it on YouTube. Yeah, I will. Hello, sir. You still lol, sir. Yeah, man, me still get lick, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You have to get some lick sometime for keeping. I mean, really, not if I go down the line still. Yeah, man, but my mother still have to start and make sure that she draw me up. Tango Blacks is our big top artist. Tango Blacks, Tanto Blacks. Oh, hey, Tanto Blacks is a big man. Let me tell you something. Yes, Tanto Blacks. I see Tanto Blacks today, pan something forward. On TikTok or some forwarded message. And Tanto Blacks is a Jamaican comedian. Tanto Blacks are people say him too hype. But Tanto Blacks I say, listen to me, not too hype, you know. Me there are 5 hype right now. I pass 2 hype and the 5 hype. And when me hear the man say, me play it back about 6 times, and me I say, wonder how much hype me there. Wonder if me reach 3 yet. My mother always watch Auntie Dana, sir. I see. Tanto Blacks. Tell your mother to go and watch I Think I Have the Answer. That is my road show. I Think I Have the Answer. Tell your mother to watch those. There are some road show. Let me say, I have the I think I have the answer. It's on my channel. You watch. Tell your mother to watch some of those shows. Where Miss come from? Oh, and Juliana, are you a part of the what is PCSG? What is that? Where him there? Private Caribbean study goals. No, who runs that? You're asking me the question, more? More, are you asking me the question?